This show is part of the Subculture Podcast Network. For pop culture and entertainment podcasts, go to bio.link/subculturepodnetwork. Prepare to be entertained.
Hello out there, YouTube. We are back with another edition of Rebel Rock Radio with me, Steve, and my cohort in crime, JD. How's it going, JD?
I'm not an ice cube.
You're not an ice cube.
I'm not an ice cube.
That's good. Yeah, last week you were about to turn into an ice cube.
Last week I was about to turn into an ice cube, so I'm not an ice cube, and here I am, not frozen, so ready to rock and roll.
Awesome. So, while we were gearing up to go live, I'm not going to let this go. So you were talking about something called Hasbro Pulse? Is that what was it called?
HasLab for Hasbro. It's their crowdfunding operation for Hasbro.
Because I'm on, that's I think that's what I'm on, but it says at the top of the screen it says Hasbro Pulse, but it also says HasLab. Interesting. But yeah, I did when I went to the site. It now it's not showing it. Well, this could be a problem. How did I find what I found before?
Well, you said something about Boba Fett's helmet.
Okay, so I clicked on... Man, how did I get to where I was at? Well, you know what? I'm just going to hit my back button until I find the page that I was on.
Steve, this is what happens with when our before show conversations bleed over into the show.
Well, you know what? Oh, I know what it was. I clicked. So I'm at the main, what I assume is the main HasLab site, and I clicked on the little magnifying glass for search because I was going to search for Star Wars. And over to the left, it says most popular searches, and one of them is Star Wars: The Black Series. So I click on that. And what first caught my eye was the Star Wars Boba Fett electronic mask.
I have that one.
Right now, they've got it on clearance for $28.34. But as I was scrolling, I was scrolling down because I'm like, well, what else do they have before I decide to go check? Oh, check this out. They've got lightsabers too. Damn. No, what the thing that really caught my eye is there's this it's the Black Series Royal Guard and TIE Fighter pilot. So it's an Emperor's Royal Guard, the Red Guard, and a TIE Fighter pilot. And I'm assuming this is the Black Series. Yeah, and that one is on clearance for $44. So, I get paid on Friday, so I'm going to check again on Friday and see if it's still... oh, look at there. There's a Black Series Luthen Rail. Okay, this is going to get me in trouble. Let me get off the site.
Hey, you're going to end up like this if you're not careful.
Yeah, no doubt.
You're going to end up like this.
Yeah.
I see what you're looking at now. I finally see it. That electronic helmet, if I may make a suggestion, they do make a better version of that that's a little bit more pricey. I own one of the OGs in the other room. It's part of my OG. Now, they have the OG one. They have the repaint one. They have the white prototype one. And then they make variations of them. They have like Bo-Katans. They have Axe Wolves helmet. They have a few others, but they usually run upwards of around $100 to $120 a piece for those. And those are the better ones. Much nicer. The one that you're looking at just covers the front, but nothing on the back. This one is actually a full face helmet with drop down reticle that lights up that you can look through. So if I may make a suggestion, I would look for those as a collector. That's just my advice.
Yeah, no, I believe you.
Hey, Tina.
It's right. I mean, right now it's really that Royal Guard and TIE Fighter pilot that has my eye. Hey, Tina, how's it going? We are off the rails already. We went in off the rails. Like we haven't started getting on the rail yet.
It's so boring to be on the rails, though. I mean, come on. If we're not teetering a little bit, there's something going on. There's something wrong with us.
We didn't even get to the rail yet. So we are going to be talking about Star Wars today. We are doing a preview of the Star Wars content that we're going to be getting in 2024. And I see you are geared up to talk about Star Wars there, JD, with your shirt. And I am also geared up.
We can talk about that. We just don't want to anger anybody. No.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about 2024 in Star Wars. But since we've already jibber-jabbered a little bit past what our plan was, let's go ahead and jump into the first song of the evening. Okay, it stayed because I had to upload it twice. I don't know why I had to upload it twice. Anyway, this band is from Portland, Oregon. They are called Lions of the Interstate. And they put out an LP in December called Strange Empires. That was released by Braxaline Records. Hopefully I got that right. If not, sue me. Don't actually sue me. But anyway, we're going to play a song off that new album. So here it is. Lions of the Interstate with White Trucks.
Mike, Steve.
Shit. Okay. Like Trucks by Lions of the Interstate. That kind of had like a 90s kind of hippie vibe to it. It was good. I liked it.
I see Brian's in the chat. Hey, Brian.
I saw that. Brian is in the chat. Anybody else in the chat? Just Tina and Brian. What's everybody else doing?
That's okay. All the good people are here.
That's true. Yeah. All the people that matter. Let's see. So we do have 2 more songs coming up, and then we're going to do our 2024 Star Wars preview. I think we've got a couple other added surprises for you tonight too. I know I do, and I think you mentioned that you might have something too.
Yes, I do.
We also have our weekly picks coming up.
Got a lot of news too.
There has been some news, you know. I don't think a whole lot has been going on this week. I mean, it's been cold. You had to work last week into the evening, which is why we did not do an episode. Yeah, there definitely was some news in regards to Star Wars, at the very least.
In fact, I'm kind of glad that came up, because there was news that came out that day that was pretty significant. I mean, there was a lot of chatter about the new Rey movie. You know, that's kind of been the yak. But, you know, there was some news that came out that day that I saw in coming across the news feeds that was pretty significant. So, I mean, we can kind of chat about that a little bit too.
Yeah, let's chat about that. Which one are you talking about?
Well, first off, they talked about they're going to start filming of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Now, there's been some discussion. People have been like, oh, they're going to call it the Mandalorian and Grogu. I don't think they're actually going to call it that.
I certainly hope not. That is very lazy.
Yeah, very lazy, very I don't see it being called that. I'm sure that's just what they're using as a point to stress that is now in production, and that they're officially going forward with it and that kind of thing. So I'm sure it's going to focus on the Mandalorian and Grogu. I have no doubt of that. But I really don't think that it's going to be called the Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm sure they're going to come up with a much better, much catchier phrase to go along with it. But right now it's just called that, just so people know that it is coming. And I kind of get that a little bit, because there's been kind of a a lot of things that have been announced and have been promised but not delivered. So right now the tentative thing is that we are filming. It is in production. Here we go. It's coming to you. Yeah. So get ready.
And then there were some rumors going around on social media. Hey Baldo, how's it going? You got to work tonight. What's up with that?
Adulting. It's so boring, man. Come on. Really we don't need to do that. It's much too early for that.
Yeah, we don't need to adult. Social media, there was a lot of kind of trolling going on, saying that the Rey movie wasn't going to happen. And turned out that was
which is completely a lie.
Yeah. To be fair, they have not written a script yet. So
no, I heard, but they did say that the guy that was writing it, who was it? The guy, his name was Steve. What was his name? Steve something, and he wrote. We were talking about this the other day.
Steve Knight.
Steve Knight, yeah, that was his name. And he's in the process of, from what I understand, he's in the process of finishing up the script for it. And I guess initial production is supposed to happen in April. So I mean, there might be there might be several movies being started out in this year. You know, Mandalorian Grogu movie, and then the new Rey movie coming out and stuff like that. And it's kind of, I was thinking about this earlier. even though we had last week off and we're kind of behind the curve on some of this stuff on occasion, it's kind of nice, to be honest with you, that we're kind of behind the curve on this, because I'm not going to get into political or controversial stuff or drama things in that respect. But it's kind of fun to hear new announcements, let it go through the progressions, and let the social media kind of have their take on it. And then you get to see kind of like the cascade effect of what people do with it once they get it. Because we got the announcement that the movie was coming out. Then we get the announcement about the director, and we get all that drama for whatever side you're on.
Yeah.
And then now it's people are trolling around saying that it's been canceled indefinitely, which is obviously a lie. It's kind of neat to see this kind of stuff unfold and sit in the back of the sidelines. It's almost like watching, like if you had a house that you didn't like and you wanted to just set it on fire to see what happened to it. Just to see the cool effect, you're kind of like, okay, well, how is this all going to end? How is this all going to work out? And I kind of feel like sometimes, even though we may not be on the forefront of it, we kind of get to look back and comment on it and kind of go, yeah, they're stupid. That's wrong. That was a complete wrong guess.
See, was there any more news about Star Wars? I seem to think that I keep remembering
there was. Yep. They said that official writing and filming for Ahsoka season 2 is coming, which is something we pretty much knew that was going to happen. I don't think, to me, I don't know about other people. I mean, to me, there was no doubt. To me, there was no doubt that season 2 was coming. There was no doubt that there was going to be some kind of continuation of the storyline. And, and that was something that was funny about people. Everybody got to the end of the show, and it was kind of like, I thought it was funny. Because if you grew up in the 80s and you watch sitcoms, you watch drama shows, and you notice that a lot of shows ended on cliffhangers. Yeah. And then Ahsoka ended on a cliffhanger, and we're kind of like, not really a cliffhanger, but kind of one of those moments where you're like, whoa, how's this going to end? It was kind of, to me, it was normal. To me, I'm just looking at it going, yeah, that's just normal TV to me. Exactly. But other people were kind of upset about it, and I went, oh, come on, people, there's going to be a season 2. There's going to be a season 2. The worst part of it for me about Ahsoka season 2 is they have not called me yet to fill Ray Stevens' role as Baylan Skoll yet. I mean, I would be more. I mean,
you were a shoo-in.
I know I'm missing some hair, but that can be fixed. I mean, seriously, that can be fixed.
I mean, did you give them the right phone number?
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. Yep, Tina hit on it. It was Andor season 2. We got some information about that. That's coming up. We got some good information about that. Bad Batch. What was it? Well, there was another one in there too. There was something, not Bad Batch season 3. See, Bad Batch season 3 we're going to talk about later. Yeah. There was they talked further about the dawn of what's rumored to be the Dawn of the Jedi movie coming out here.
Oh, right. Next couple years. I'm really looking forward to
that. They said that's still moving forward. And the Jon Favreau movie, they also talked about it a little loosely about that. Yeah. Now, they haven't discussed specifically what those shows are about, but they said they're still moving forward. So there was 4 projects that they announced that's going to be later down the pipeline, which is awesome. It's great. I think it's great. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. More Star Wars content to me is awesome. So I'm excited.
So this isn't really Star Wars news, but and we're not going to touch on this too heavily or talk about it too much, but have you and I'm not even going to mention any names, but have you been seeing any of this kind of this Star Wars thing blowing up because of a YouTuber that made some comments about women in the fandom?
Yes, I have been.
I'm being purposefully vague because I don't want to mention names.
And my response is going to be purposefully generalized. Because, yes, I have been paying attention to what's been going on in that situation. I know who you're talking about. And I will say, just kind of on the fly, I will say two things.
Okay.
If you want hatred and negative content, then you can find it without subterfuge. It's definitely out there. It's definitely available to you. If you have issues with, when we've discussed this on the show before, some of the very first episodes we did with you was discussing about how Disney, did Disney ruin Star Wars, and people, if you haven't seen that episode and people haven't got a chance to go watch it, I suggest you go back, take a look at it, look at our take on the whole situation. If you want to find hate, if you want to find negativity, it is readily available for you out there.
Yeah.
I will simply say this. Star Wars is for everyone.
Exactly. That's
Star Wars
exactly
is
what I was going to say.
Star Wars is for everyone. And I am not, and that's why I said the drama and or controversy surrounding the new Rey movie. I have my own personal thoughts, but here's my thing. I am not going to discuss those things until I actually see a finished product. Because I have a few opinions. A few of my opinions have been changed. I am skeptical about a few things. And if we wanted to discuss it, we could. It's very touchy ground. So I don't want to get into a negativity thing. I simply want, we were going to discuss it, or if people wanted to discuss it, would be a situation where we just want to kind of be subjective about it and understand that it's just our subjective opinions. But that's why in my personal opinion, as far as the new Rey movie is concerned, when I've been to, and I use this example, I've been to conventions and I've seen all types of fans. I've seen fans of every color, every orientation. I've seen fans of every gender, if you will. I've seen all types of fans at these fandoms. And you know what I see every time I see these people and when they interact with other people? I see nothing but positivity. I see nothing but people enjoying something they're passionate about. Star Wars is for everyone. You can find something in it to excite you. You can find something in it to make it a part of your person, about your energy and your philosophy. And if you can't, my hope is that they are continuing to make things. My hope for the future is that they continue to make things through Star Wars that will unite people in a way that will realize that, hey, that's not only your story, but it's my story too, and we can see that together. Kind of a rebel force, if you will, of people that come together that have the same ideas, that have the same wants and needs for their future, that want to write their own stories, but they use it as inspiration. And I don't care what age you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what your orientation is. I don't care what your skin color is. If you're a fan of Star Wars, you're a friend of mine. And as long as you promote positivity, as long as you promote positivity for others, and you bring people into the fold to be a part of that universe and to say, hey, look, there's a place for you here.
Yeah.
Then I don't see the problem with it. I don't see why it needs to be addressed negatively. I don't see why there's people out there. And one of the worst things about fandoms, and any fandom, is gatekeeping. And I don't see any need. I don't see any need for gatekeeping in any fandom. If it's something you enjoy, you can connect with, and you love it, and you want to be passionate about it, then for crying out loud, be passionate about it. Love it.
Yeah. I absolutely despise gatekeeping.
Yeah. I hate gatekeeping with a passion. For people to say, oh, it's not for you because you're not this, or you're not that, or you didn't do this, or you didn't do that, I'm not mentioning any names. I'm really not right now. But for somebody to go, well, you didn't have the right costume, or you didn't put together what we think you should be putting together to be a fan. You know what? Sorry, but go screw yourself. Go screw yourself.
So,
if somebody's Go
So
ahead.
Brian said a couple of things that were pretty relevant. First, if I don't like something, I don't go out of my way to watch it and complain.
Amen.
Enough.
Amen.
And then
I don't,
I don't
I'm not,
understand people who make anger and outrage their whole persona. Exactly.
100%. 100%. Well, and you know what though, Brian, I will amend. I'm sure we all know this. I'm sure this is not misinformation for any of us, and we all know this. And this has been discussed on other podcasts and other YouTube channels and other live live things before. But there is if you go back through history and you look at news, kind of try to sum this up. When you go back through and you look at history and you look at news, drama sells. And drama has always been something that has always been in the front page of every newspaper, every medium throughout history. Because people don't care about the mundane, oh, we had a good day. It was 72 and sunny. And everything was boring. Everything was fine. No, it's, oh my God, look who kissed this person. Or look who stabbed this person. Or look who shot this person. So in the age of social media and YouTube, it's not about, well, shiny, happy people anymore. It's about how much drama can I create and how much misinformation can I spread in order to create drama or to create a problem. And then I get all these clicks, and I get all these views, and I get all this money from advertisements and all this kind of crap. It is, I don't know. If I know I'm sitting here talking to people on a social media platform, but social media has literally ruined the social standing of people in the world. It has just made people ugly for profit. And Star Wars is not alone. I promise you, I'm a fandom of a lot of other mediums, and other franchises experience the same issues. And all I'll say to people out there, and anybody who hears this, if you're a fan of Star Wars, if you love Star Wars in any form that it is, I don't care if you like everything Lucas did, but you're not a fan of what Disney did, if you love what Disney did, but not a fan of Lucas, if you're a fan of everything, I am more than happy to sit and have a conversation and talk to you about it and talk to whatever topic you want to talk about. But if you're a fan of Star Wars and you love Star Wars and you promote positivity, you're a friend of mine, and I'm more than happy to talk to you.
Agreed. So as I mentioned, I'm not gonna mention what precipitated all of this.
Hey, you there?
And yeah, I'm still here. You froze up on me.
Okay.
But
don't let anybody tell you any different.
But this YouTube individual, and I will be very upfront here. I did not watch 100% of the video that this all stemmed from, because frankly, I find this individual not compelling at all. The guy is basically a jackass, and I have no desire to watch any of their content. But I watched enough, because when this thing started, all this stuff on social media started blowing up about it, I went to see the relevant what I believe are the relevant comments, and is basically saying, women in general should not be part of the fandom, and it's a bunch of horse shit. Like you said, Star Wars is for everyone. And gatekeeping is, yes, Tina, that is a very good description of what I think of this person. They are a steaming pile of shit.
Amen.
But yeah, Star Wars is for everyone, and gatekeeping is, well, I hate it. I don't like gatekeeping.
As soon as you install gatekeeping into a fandom and you say you're not allowed to be a part of it because of X, I have no interest in hearing anything else you have to say. Because it's not, especially when it's not your medium, it's not yours to It's not your platform, or it's your platform. You can say whatever the hell you want, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
But it's not your, if you are making money off of and you're producing content that's based off of somebody else's work, and then you have the audacity to say, oh, I don't want certain people in it. I got nothing for you. I got no love for you. Yeah. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how many followers you got. I don't care how much money you make off of it. I don't care what kind of fancy car you drive. I don't care about the bitching and crying that you do in the background. As far as I'm concerned, you could be the richest man in the world and make a comment about something on Star Wars, and you're still somebody I don't want to hear from. And as far as I'm concerned, you're of poor character. So you can be rich, but you're poor. That's my personal feeling on it.
There are definitely people out there watching this YouTube channel because they have over 3 million subscribers. So
yeah,
whatever.
And
anyway, that's enough of that. We don't need to jibber jabber on about that anymore.
I got you, Ubaldo.
Do we want to play another song?
Let's do it, brother.
Let's play another song. Okay. This song comes from a band called Blowfuse out of Barcelona, Spain. And they have an album that has not yet been released. It does not get released until March 1st of this year. And that's coming out via Sabam Records. And we are going to be playing what I believe is the first single from this album. The album is going to be titled The Fourth Wall. And the song we are going to play is called Move On. So here it is.
We had a great time, well, on that I agree. It will live forever in your memory. I've tried, but I cannot lie anymore. There's a truth out there you just cannot ignore. Turn back down, not again. We both know it's not happening. So cry, no more tears. It's over, I need you to hear. Why don't you move on? Why don't you just get over it? Why don't you move on? Why don't you start to deal with it? Nothing will ever be like before. I'm asking you please walk through the door. There's no turning back, the past is gone.
Move On by Blowfuse. I think they sent me the wrong album cover. Oh well. That was good. Those guys are from Spain. I like the hashtag. We're gonna go viral with that. Friends in the Force. We're gonna spearhead that one. Did you get a package recently?
I did. I ordered a few things. I actually have one in the other room that I think I'm going to show next show that I really like. But for now, obviously everybody knows that I am a huge fan of Return of the Jedi. And usually I don't collect these very much, but I had to pick these up. I got some new fig pins today because they got released. And I got number 1 from Return of the Jedi. Where's that? There it is. I got Darth Vader with no helmet from Return of the Jedi. I got Force Ghost that glows in the dark, Obi-Wan.
Very cool.
And my third one is I got Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker fig pins. Now, they didn't have Yoda Force Ghost on the website, so I went ahead and ordered it. I found that finally. So I ordered it, and I'm looking for the Anakin Force Ghost. Now, the only thing that disappoints me about that is that I am a Sebastian Shaw fan, and I thought they should have left that alone, but I know there's a lot of people who are Hayden Christensen fans. I'm also a Hayden Christensen fan, so don't think of me like that. But I was in the theaters when Sebastian Shaw came out, and he was the Force Ghost of Anakin in the original movie in 1983. Yeah. And so, therefore, that's me. So that's why I'm a fan of that. I was a fan of that because it made more sense to me. But I get
it. Very good.
Spencer,
how's it going?
What's going on, buddy?
So, I've got a package, and I don't know what I did with my knife.
You always got it. You always got to have one of those sitting around handy.
Oh, there it is. Okay, just in case I actually need my knife. I don't know if I do. So, if you've been watching the last couple of months, I subscribed to this fan thing where I get every month I get a new shipment of Star Wars encyclopedias. No, it's not necessarily an unboxing stream. We're just doing a little extra, Spencer.
We just got some new toys we want to show everybody, man. Come on.
We didn't do a live stream last week, so we got to make up for lost time.
Somebody had to do adult things last week, and they had to, turn people's power on when it was like super cold.
Do work.
We had to do actual work. So yeah, that was me.
So I got a new shipment of Star Wars encyclopedias, and I don't know what's in it. So I think there's a way to find out what they're sending you before you ship it, so you can tell them no, don't ship that one, and I'll just wait till next month. But I don't bother. I like to be surprised. So I've got the box and I'm unboxing it, and there are 4 books this time. Sometimes there's 3, and then because the last time I got a shipment, I got 3 books and a coffee mug. So this time I got 4 books, so that means no special surprise. All right, so the first one I have is a book about Coruscant. So that's pretty cool. Get to learn about Coruscant. That's awesome. This one's pretty badass. This is probably going to be my favorite.
Jar Jar Binks.
No.
No. Oh, look at that. Heroes of Rogue One.
Now,
people were not going to be able to tear Steve away from that for a long time.
Here's the thing, though. The question about this that I have is there going to be any information in this book about the heroes of Rogue One that I don't already know?
We expect full report here in the near future.
Well, I'm reading this tonight when we're done.
Well,
Okay.
seeing your face light up when you saw that, and then showing us what it was, I almost knew for certain that as soon as the stream's over, I know what you're going to be doing.
This one's cool too. Blasters and ranged weapons. Very
Nice.
cool. Very cool.
Nice.
So getting some good ones. And
I know what you're going to be doing the next couple nights.
Oh, look at that.
Oh no!
Boba Fett and other characters of the underworld. Oh man!
I am 100.
Which one of these am I going to read first?
I am 100%. I am 100% so glad that you did not open that before the stream, because the lineup you got going on is awesome.
Oh my gosh, this is a great. I'm going to have to email them and thank them for this month's shipment.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
All right. Fun stuff. Woo. You know what? We didn't even bother going through the social medias or any of that stuff.
We probably better do that.
Yeah, we probably should go ahead and get that out of the way.
We should probably go ahead and do
it. This is Rebel Rock Radio, and we are part of the Subculture Podcast Network. It's a collection of pop culture podcasts. Great bunch of folks. And if you would like to visit all of the shows that are a part of that network, just go to bio.link/Subculture Pod Network, and that'll link you to all of those amazing podcasts. But if you just want to come hang out with us on social media, there is one link that will take you everywhere. You just go to rebelrockradio.com. It'll take you to all our socials. And if you're not listening, or if you're not viewing on YouTube and you're more an audio platform type of person, that will take you to all the various audio platforms where you can hear us jibber jabber about Star Wars and all that other good stuff. Yeah. And also that will take you to, I can't remember if I removed the link from there or not. I think it'll take you to where you can buy merch. So we've got shirts and we have coffee mugs. Let me just make sure that's still on there. Yeah. So yeah, that'll take you to our spring merch site. So currently all we have is t-shirts and hoodies and coffee mugs. Eventually I'd like to get some beanies, but I haven't got around to doing all that. But anyway, that's how you can find it. Just go to rebelrockradio.com. And am I missing anything else? I feel like we're missing something else. Weekly picks. We got to do our weekly picks.
Oh.
It is Rebel Rock Radio weekly picks. Did we have any weekly picks? Oh yeah, I have something.
I have a suggestion.
Okay. Let's hear your suggestion.
So, on the subject of one of the things we'll be discussing tonight, and in reference to Star Wars Acolyte, if you haven't got a chance to, for anybody listening, if you haven't got an opportunity to, and you haven't really given it a thought, my recommendation for people tonight is since Acolyte seems like it's going to be focusing on some end of the High Republic content, if you haven't given it a chance, I would highly recommend or suggest, or if you would just try to give it a shot, try to check out some of the High Republic novels. And if you haven't started it yet, start with one and go from there. I'm almost into the third. What do I want to say? The third series of it. Almost getting there. It really is it's really a good series, well written. And if you haven't given it a chance to give it an opportunity, go for it. I think that with and like I said, we'll discuss further, but I think with some of the shows coming out that are going to be kind of focusing on that area and kind of bringing that era into live action, I think it'll spark some interest for book readers and people who like comics and whatnot. So my suggestion is, if you haven't given the High Republic a chance, I would highly recommend you give it a shot and see what you think. If you don't get through it, I won't be offended, but at least give it a shot and see what you think, because I think it's going to become relevant here pretty quick.
I haven't read all of it. I've read some of it, and eventually I would like to try and get through all of it, but I really just don't see that happening.
I've got to put it on pause because I have other homework.
That is true. You were given some homework.
I was given homework.
You were given homework. Some of that homework I think we're going to be discussing in the next couple of weeks. The recommendation that I have is a comic book that I just recently read, like very recent. And oh man, I was going to try to put a picture of it up, and I can't. Oh, you know what? That's because I didn't click on images. Okay. I am very prepared tonight, folks. I'm really not.
That's so boring. Come on, Steve.
Yeah, no, I'm being very facetious there. I am not prepared at all. I totally forgot that we were going to be doing weekly picks. Oh man, seriously, that's not a JPEG.
Spencer, geode rules. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw that out there. Geode rules.
All right. Stand by, folks. I got it. Okay, it's uploading. Okay. The suspense is killing you, isn't it? No. Okay.
We're getting it together. We got it. Here we go.
It's a very recently released comic book. It is issue number 1, and it is Ultimate Spider-Man number 1. So there was an Ultimate Spider-Man series that came out in the 2000s. It was written by Brian Michael Bendis, and if you out there follow Marvel Comics, you will know that they are kind of like so the Ultimate Universe ended in help me out here, Spencer. You should know this. When did it end? 2000 shit. Now I gotta look it up.
Tina, that's not healthy. 2015, he says.
Okay, that sounds right. 2015. So it ended.
2015.
That's right. So Jonathan Hickman was given the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, and was allowed to basically he's doing another Ultimate Universe. So it's like outside the main continuity. So he can write new stories without fear of, is that canon? Is this going to mess with anything else? And they've done it many times. But Jonathan Hickman is best known, again, if you follow Marvel, he is the guy who basically kind of rebooted, but not really rebooted, the X-Men storyline back in 2019. And he kind of turned the whole X-Men universe on its head. So he, Jonathan Hickman wrote this 4-part limited series called Ultimate Invasion, which basically created the new Ultimate Universe. And Ultimate Spider-Man #1 is the first comic to come out of that Ultimate Universe. So the original Ultimate Spider-Man that like I mentioned, was written by Brian Michael Bendis, is actually one of my favorite Spider-Man storylines. I really liked it. But I saw recently that the Ultimate Spider-Man, the new Ultimate Spider-Man, was released, and I'm like, oh, give it a try. See what Jonathan Hickman can do with Spider-Man. I was kind of wary because I know how Hickman writes, and I'm like, writing Spider-Man, I'm not sure. But I read it. Shit, Spencer, was that yesterday? I think it was yesterday I read it, and I was just blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So if you like Spider-Man or comic books or anything like that, this is definitely a book you should probably go check out. It's pretty amazing. A lot of fun reading. And you will see, I actually wrote a review of it for Future of the Force, that pop culture website that I write for. I did write a review for it, and I think it's going to be published tomorrow. So I'll probably post that review on our Twitters and all that stuff. So look forward to seeing that. But yeah, go check that out. It was awesome. All right, that was our picks for the week. You big comic book fan at all, JD?
No, I hate to say it, but I'm not huge into the comic books. I own a few comic books. I own like some of the older Star Wars Marvel books.
Yeah.
I always liked Superman, so I actually own a copy of Death of Superman, like one of the special edition versions, which I know is not like a great thing, but to me it was pretty cool because I got it like when it first came out. And to be honest with you, my biggest thing with like comics is that, like I said, I always liked the Superman comics. I did read some of those, but I had a buddy in high school who was a big comic book guy, and he would give me comics. But my problem was that whenever I would read them, I always got confused because like there were different ones, like different runs, and they were doing different things, and the timelines and the storylines were always confusing to me. I couldn't ever figure out which one I was in, and I would read one that I would get confused. I would get frustrated. I'd be like, okay, I'm all messed up now. So it kind of messed with me. So, and I would love to go back and read them because I think some of the artwork that they do is fantastic, and combined with storylines and things like that. Like Spawn, I read a lot of the Spawn storylines, and like Witchblade and some of the dark, some of that stuff. I read a lot of stuff from them, because I really like those anti-hero characters. In fact, one of my favorite, one of my favorite, I'll tell you, one of my favorite Marvel characters is actually Venom. I love that character. And I was so happy when they brought him to the big screen and they actually made him a hero because, and for the most part, they made him a hero. I mean, he eats people, but I mean, he's a hero. But
not all that.
It's not all that. I mean, he only eats bad guys. I mean, come on. It's just the bad guys. It's all good. But I just like the idea behind it because, just the storyline behind Venom, his abilities and the symbiotes and, the black suit Spider-Man when he actually wore the suit for a while. And I kind of got into that. I thought that was pretty cool. And so, yeah, I mean, I kind of get it a little bit, but if you ask me things about comics or like when you guys were talking about Ultimate Spider-Man and winning Indie Ball, I have no idea. I have no idea. And I'll be honest with you, I wanted to read some of the Star Wars Marvel comics because they kind of went into the background of how Anakin's lightsaber got recovered from Cloud City, but don't anybody hate on me because of this. But the last I saw of it, somebody got a hold of it, but they didn't explain who it was. Now, I don't know if they've expanded on that yet. I don't know if they've actually resolved that storyline. I don't know if it's supposed to be resolved. Like I said, don't hate on me because of it, but I just have not read it. I don't know. But that was the last I saw of it, and it would be interesting because then it would play into Force Awakens, and I think it would add some context to the story, which I think is never a bad thing. And that is an awesome shot. That is just beautiful.
Yeah, I love
that is just beautiful. Yeah, I love that image. That's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, I remember because I was reading the Spider-Man title when the black suit Spider-Man was going on, and then in issue I want to say 300, Spencer, correct me if I'm wrong, Amazing Spider-Man number 300 is when they introduced Venom. I want to say it's 300. It could have been 299. I don't remember. It was one of those.
And Tina, Venom, I want to see.
I remember reading it for the first time. I'm like, what the hell? Spencer's not sure. God dang it. Okay.
Tina, I want to see Venom. I want to see Scream. I want to see Anti-Venom. I'd love to see something, if they do a third one, I'd love to see some more team-ups with some more of the symbiotes, the anti-hero of the symbiote genre. Okay. I think those are great.
I'm pulling it up. Venom.
He says 300.
Yes. Spider-Man number 300, May 1988. Yes, I was reading. Yeah, 300. I knew it. Yeah. So yeah, I remember reading it, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And then a few years later, we got Carnage. I was like, "God damn!"
Yeah.
No, I got.
And Spencer talking about Spawn too. When they talked about him when he came out, I actually bought some of the original McFarlane designed figures that they came out with. I still have those. Mm-hmm. I still have those in a box. I haven't brought them out yet, but I still have those in a box.
What did you think of that movie? Did you see that movie?
The original Spawn?
Yeah.
With Michael Jai White?
The cartoon, the live action.
The Michael Jai White one, when it came out, it was I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. I wasn't like thoroughly impressed because I think they made it for a, obviously if you've ever read the comics, if you've ever looked at the comics, you know that's not a comic for kids. And the movie was made for a more docile audience, I think, than what the comics came out with. I mean, because if you watch the comics and then you watch the movie, you're kind of like, that was kind of dialed back a little bit. I wanted to see it raw. I wanted to see Deadpool style, not the funny stuff, but I wanted to see rated R Spawn, almost like a horror movie villain, but he's actually like a anti-hero-ish trying to save the world kind of guy. I would love to see something like that. I would love to see it redone for a modern audience with a R rating and just go to town. Just free reign to bring about the original Spawn the way it was supposed to be written. And I think that would be fantastic, to be honest with you. Like I said, it wasn't a terrible movie. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it was all right, but I was like, they held back way too much. I think they should have just gone full bore with it. And I like John Leguizamo. A lot of people thought he was terrible, but I like John Leguizamo, but I don't think that was the way the clown was originally. That was not the iteration of the clown that they wanted, because he was all goofy and funny and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then, I don't think that was the way he was supposed to be presented, if you will. That was just his take on it. So
I got to agree with Spencer here. So I didn't hate the movie. It could have been better, but the cartoon was great.
Yes. The cartoon was fantastic.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yes, and his cape was awesome too. His cape, his powers, everything, as far as that goes, that was pretty cool. Like I said, my complaint was not with like John Leguizamo, which I know there was some complaints about him. Michael Jai White, somebody didn't like his acting, but that was when he was like, that was his first gig that he ever did. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that was the case. and I liked him in the role. He did a decent job. He did good. I mean, he's not an Emmy award winning or Oscar winning actor or anything like that, but he did a decent job with it. I just think the character himself and the writing, he was held back. I think it could have gotten a lot more, for lack of a better term, I think he could have gotten a lot more hardcore with it.
So Brian says that John Leguizamo was awesome as Luigi in Super Mario Brothers. Recent movie I liked him in. He was in, well, kind of recent. He was in Violent Night, Christmas movie. He played the main antagonist, and he was pretty good in that one. He played kind of a smaller role in a movie called The Menu.
He was in John Wick Part 1 too.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
He was the
chop. Said, yeah, we killed his dog. He was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, what the hell did you just do? You don't realize the hellfire that you just brought down on yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. That part there when he hears the name and then he craps himself, I'm going, oh yeah, that's awesome because he knows he screwed up. But
speaking of movies, I just saw a movie on. What day was that? I think it was Sunday. Yeah, me and the youngest went to the theater and saw a movie called The Beekeeper. It wasn't really anything on my radar, but I was like, I had got home from band practice on Sunday, and I was like, man, I feel like going to see a movie, but I don't think there's anything out. So that I wanted to see or hadn't already seen. So I pulled up my app and pulled up the AMC app, and I looked, and I'm like, Beekeeper. I think I saw a trailer for that. And we ended up going to see that. It was fun. It's not going to win any awards, but it was a good popcorn movie. Decent. Man, we are completely off the rails. We're an hour and haven't touched Star Wars yet.
Focus.
Okay.
Focus.
We got another song to play. We're going to play.
We swear we're going to talk about Star Wars. We're talking about Star Wars tonight. We promise.
I didn't promise anything, but okay.
We don't promise crap.
They know what they're getting into when they watch this show. The topic is a suggestion. No. Okay.
At some point during the show, the topic will be talked about. We can't guarantee when that's going to happen, but it'll be here.
Last 5 minutes of the show. Hey, Star Wars.
Just be patient with us.
Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. We did talk about Star Wars. We said Star Wars is for everyone.
We did, and we're gonna get back to that. We're gonna get back to that. I promise.
We saw some cool Star Wars encyclopedias
that we're not going to be able to tear Steve away from for several days.
So we did talk about Star Wars. So you got what you came for. No, okay. So we got one more song. Let me get this out of the way.
We just took a curve from it.
Yeah. Okay, so this song comes from a band based out of, what the hell did I write that for? They're from Pennsylvania. Okay. Where in Pennsylvania? What the hell? Gettysburg. They're from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Holy smokes.
What's that?
You said Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. That's interesting.
Yeah. The name of the band is Twist and Writhe? Or Writhe? I don't know. Twist and Writhe. Just go with that. And they put out a new album on January 5th called All Things in Time. And we're going to play a song from that album. So we are going to play a song called As Good as It Used to Be. I wonder if this podcast is as good as it used to be. Nah, probably better. Anyway,
it's getting better.
I don't know. Here it is. Listen or don't. I don't care. Enjoy or don't. I don't care. There it is.
Because it's such a great big hassle. So safe, so stealing, all in for feeling so right, standing in line. So safe, so stealing, all in for feeling so right, standing in line. It's not as loud as it used to be. Not as young as it used to be, about as good as it used to be. You see me till you fall in line. It's not as loud as it used to be. It's not as young as it used to be, about as good as it used to be. I see me fall in line. So safe, so stealing, all in, for feeling so right, standing in line. Stand tall, running around with a feeling no one is feeling. Searching for that thing that makes it falling like love right to the ceiling. No one is feeling. It's not as loud as it used to be, not as young as it used to be, about as good as it used to be. You seem to see you fall in line. It's not as loud as it used to be, not as young as it used to be, about as good as it used to be. I see me fall in line. So stealing, all in, for feeling so right, standing in line. So safe, so stealing, all in, for feeling so right, standing in line.
All right. As Good as It Used to Be by Twist and Writhe, I guess. I don't know.
As soon as you
All
said
right.
Gettysburg, that's one of the places I would love to visit, just because there's so much historical value to it. So I was like, Gettysburg.
Yeah, I visited once. I used to live in I lived in Western Pennsylvania, but we took a trip over there. We went to Gettysburg, and then also went to Hershey and did a tour of the factory. But
My girlfriend could not go there. She is definitely allergic to chocolate.
yeah,
I mean, swell up like a balloon, airway closed off, allergic to chocolate. So we can't go there.
yeah, I don't know. Tina says as good as it used to be, like my back. Is your back as good as it used to be? My back is not as good as it used to be. My knees are definitely not as good as they used to be. Yeah, being in the military will screw up your knees, man.
being in the military, being a lineman, being an ex-bull rider, being an ex-cowboy.
Plumber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did stupid things with my body when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
And yes,
Yeah.
I did I did all those things. I got paid for them, and I won money at them. Just so anybody's curious.
There you go. All right. How about some Star Wars? We're going to talk about some Star Wars.
Yeah,
At least we're going to try to talk about some Star Wars. So
we're going to try to talk about Star Wars.
So we do have some information on some projects that are coming out in 2024 in Star Wars. So I'm just going to kind of run down the list that I jotted down. I think I have information on most of these. The first one is a live action TV series. And it takes place it takes place in the same time frame as The Mandalorian. And that show is Skeleton Crew. So according to the Wikipedias, the premise of the series follows 4 children who end up on an adventure to make their way home after being lost in the galaxy, following a discovery they make on their home planet. And so, what do we know about this? I know that Jude Law is going to be in it. And I know that, oh, God damn it, what's his name? Urkel. God damn it, what is his name?
Urkel.
White.
Yes. Jesus Christ. I used to love that show.
Yeah.
that show was great.
Urkel. Anyway, so yeah, Urkel's going to be in Skeleton Crew. And, I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of information on this except for the cast and like where it's supposed to take place. But I do know that it's scheduled to be released this year. And yeah, I think I did read that somewhere on social media that it's supposed to be like Goonies in space.
Tina kind of got ahead of me on that a little bit because that's what we heard at Celebration in England.
Yeah.
Was that it was supposed to be a Goonies in space meets Star Wars kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's cool because, when they talked about in Andor, everybody was like, do we really want that? Is that going to be cool? What's the deal? Blah, 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 blah. And then when we got Andor, it was like, wow, this is amazing. And I guess it just kind of depends on, everybody says these days it kind of depends on the story and where the story goes in the writing and blah, 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 which I agree. If you don't have a good script, if you don't have a good story to follow, it's going to be kind of boring. But yeah, I'm a fan of the Goonies. I loved the Goonies when I was a kid. That was one of my favorite movies from the 80s when I was younger. I loved the Goonies just because it had kids going on adventures and pirate ships and bad guys chasing them and all kinds of stuff. And if you don't laugh at the things Data does and punching himself in the face with his own gadgets, you're just not alive. So go home and just find something to laugh about or smoke a big bag of weed. I don't care, whichever one you need to do.
It's going to consist of 8 episodes. There are going to be several directors. I think Bryce Dallas Howard is going to be one of the directors. So she is. She did a few episodes of The Mandalorian, if I'm remembering correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she sure did. She actually directed some very good episodes of The Mandalorian. If you go back and watch who the directors was, and you watch her episodes, and you watch those episodes, she did a very good job. And I'm going to amend something. I'm going to add something to a previous conversation that we had. And the only reason I'm saying this is because if you watch the previous episodes that she did with The Mandalorian and the directing that she did, I'm real surprised that she wasn't picked for the Rey movie, and that's all I'll say, is because well, that's not all I'm going to say. I'm going to say that I was a fan.
I get that. I get that.
I was a fan of her. I was a fan of her episodes, and I think she would have been a very good choice if they're doing what they're wanting to do, and they're wanting to bring. Let's just say they're wanting to bring the diversity into that kind of thing. I really don't know why they didn't. I think she would have been a perfect choice. I think she would have been a great choice to actually direct a major motion picture because she has experience, she has background, she understands the medium, she's been a part of the medium, she kind of knows what she's doing, and I think she would have been a perfect choice.
You know who my choice would have been for the Rey movie, and they'd still get that whole, if they're going that whole diversity route, which I'm fine with. I think there should be diversity. I think they should have went with Deborah Chow.
Yeah, she would have been a great choice too. I think either one of them would have been a fine choice. And honestly, you know what I think they should do? Really, this is what I think they should have done, is I think they should have given Bryce Dallas Howard the new Rey movie, and I think they should have given Deborah Chow the reins to Rogue Squadron.
Oh yeah, that would have been nice.
That would have been nice. I think she would have been I think she would have been good to take over that, because the concept of what they wanted to do with that movie would have been fantastic. I think it would have been great. I just think they needed, after Wonder Woman 1984, they got badly spooked. They got badly spooked. They got very worried about where that was going to go and how it was going to turn out. So they decided to abandon or shelf the project. I think it would still be a good idea. I think they could still get away with it. But if they put someone like let's say Deborah Chow, let's put Deborah Chow in the driver's seat on that one, and give Dave Filoni creative direction as producer on it, and then whatever. I still think it has legs. I still think it would be great.
See, and they can Tina hit the nail on the head here. If they want to have a woman director, there are more qualified ones than the one they picked.
Yeah. And Tina, I'm going to say this. That is my only issue so far that I can see with where the current direction is that they needed somebody with more experience, who had actually had cinematic experience, who had actually been to cinematic film school, who actually had, been a part of the process before. That's really the only issue that I think I have with the whole thing. Because the rest of it, I'm kind of like, whatever. And like I said, we don't have to get into the politics of it on here. We don't have to do that. But somebody who actually has the knowledge, the background, the experience, and has been a part of the medium, I think would have been a better choice. I really do. I don't think, and I'm not, and in the gender part of it, it doesn't even bother me. I mean, and really, the fact that a woman's going to direct it, that if you have a problem with that, then go somewhere else. I don't give a shit about that. I don't care. I don't care about your opinion. I don't give a shit about that. If it's a well-written story and it gets people involved, and women, most specifically women of all ages, go, I love this. This makes me want to be a part of it. This makes me want to be a part of the fandom. Then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Bring it on. Bring it on. And I'll watch the story and say that's a great story. And then hopefully it does the same thing for young people or young girls or whatever, the way Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi inspired me when I was a kid.
Absolutely. So other than what we've already mentioned, we know that Jude Law is going to be a Force user. Doesn't say Jedi, it just says Force user. But yeah, there really hasn't been a ton of information about this. But despite that, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that's the great part of it is that Star Wars in general, if you start to look at how they're expanding it, and I think that's going to make it great for like when the Origins of the Jedi or whatever that origin story is they're going to come out with, if that's truly what they're going to do, that's going to give them such a broad range of timeline and such a soapbox to play in. Because the more they expand, because if you go from this, which is the original trilogy, to this, which is the prequels, and now the sequels, and then everything in between. And now we've got High Republic, or High Republic, and then we've got, past, and then we're getting past the sequel trilogy. And then if we get to Dawn, I mean, we're way out here. We've got all this to play with, and there's just going to be those kind of stories that are going to keep coming out. So I think that it's going to be one of those that it's kind of like Andor. We really didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what was going to come out with it. We didn't know what the story was going to be. And Skeleton Crew, I think, is going to be the same thing. It's going to be some interesting story. Hopefully, it's going to be some interesting story that they come out with. And if it's truly like a Goonies in space where they go on a treasure hunt to save something or do something, and they're playing in the Star Wars sandbox, man, bring it on. Dude, I think that's great. That's awesome. Bring it on.
And the showrunners of this TV show are a couple of guys that were the writer and director of Spider-Man, the Spider-Man movies, the MCU Spider-Man movies. Specifically, one of the showrunners is Christopher Ford, and he wrote Homecoming. So I think they've got a good pedigree, so to speak.
Which, in my opinion, was probably one of the last of the better Marvel movies that have been made for a while.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We've got another TV show. Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Another TV series, live action, set at the end of the High Republic era, and that one is The Acolyte. Yeah, The Acolyte. So I look at the list of, like, the cast list. The only name that I recognize on here is Carrie-Anne Moss, and she's playing a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like Carrie-Anne Moss. I mean, she was Trinity in The Matrix. She was in the movie Memento. And what else has she been in? She's been in a lot of stuff. I want to say she was in Daredevil, and she was in Iron Fist. So she's got a little bit of MCU background. But yeah, so the premise of this one, as I said, set at the end of the High Republic era, 100 years before Phantom Menace. A former Padawan reunites with her Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than they anticipated. According to this, there's going to be 8 episodes of that. Again, I'm only seeing 2024. I'm not seeing an actual release date. Have you seen a release date for this at all?
I haven't. I haven't seen a specific date. I'm assuming we're going to get that pretty quick. I think it's going to be in the fall. I think it's going to be in the fall.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to this one.
You actually, I mean, your second one was my most anticipated. I'm looking forward to it for some part of it because of things we know, and for part of it for things we don't know, and kind of things I'm hopeful for. Specifically, I'm looking forward to getting that High Republic content out there. I want to see that come to the screen. I really want to see that come to the screen because I think if people accept it, I think if they like it, and I think if it does well, I think it will motivate them to want to bring more High Republic stuff to the screen, and that's another soapbox, if you will, that they'll get to play in. And it probably won't do any book adaptions, but what they'll do is they'll make live action movies based on some of those more important storylines, which I think will be great. And I'll say this: I'm gonna start this hashtag bring Geode to the big screen.
Well, if we're talking High Republic, I would really love to see the Nile on live action.
Yes. And kind of going off of that a little bit, people have kind of speculated in the new Rey movie. They're talking about, well, who would you bring in if you didn't bring the Sith and the Sith are truly done? Who would you bring back? And I've heard people say they wouldn't mind seeing a resurgence of the Nihil, which would be interesting for sure. It just to me, it kind of depends on how they bring them into the fold. And I thought something, if you're an EU fan, then you know who the Yuuzhan Vong are. And you're kind of familiar with them. And I know some people are kind of mixed about them, and they're kind of on them. But I thought the Yuuzhan Vong, do you know who they were?
Oh yeah. From there is a book that I've read, Vector Prime.
Yeah, they were basically organic versions of the Borg for your T-shirt for that propaganda you got on your T-shirt over there. Yeah. So they were basically organic versions of the Borg. They had an entire planet they could link up with, and there's probably a lot of people that know more about them than I do, so I would let them go into it. But for the most part, I would think it would be interesting if not necessarily that they brought them into the fold, but they brought the Nihil back and used that kind of idea with the Nihil as like maybe them, and then if you're familiar with the High Republic, you know who the Dringir are.
Mm-hmm.
If they found a way to incorporate the two of them together to bring them into the new universe as the new enemy, like combine the two of them, or like join forces, or even like, that's kind of find some creative way to do that, and that would be the new enemy for Rey and the new Jedi Order to fight. I think, for them to be the new problem, I think that would be interesting. I think there's a lot of potential there. Now, they don't have to necessarily use the Yuuzhan Vong, but they could use that the context of them in the EU to bring them into the light, or to bring them into canon, into a new Star Wars, just kind of change the way they are, and change some details on them. So I think it'd be interesting. So, man, you never know. With the Acolyte, we might actually get a little bit of the Nihil. I don't know. I mean, we don't know how Phase 3 is going to go down. Are they going to completely wipe them out? Are they going to go into hiding? Are they, what's the overarching impact of them in the, from the High Republic to stay past the sequel trilogy, or into Acolyte?
That's an antagonist that they would be doing a disservice to just totally annihilate them.
Yeah, because they're interesting. Because Marchion Ro and his character, and the fact that he took them over, and he's taking them in the direction that he's taking them. And I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to go into spoilers. But the direction that he's taking them, when you find out who they are and what they're about, and then you see what he adds to what he brings to the table when it comes to the Nihil, it would be interesting for them to be kind of a, what do I want to say? Not a counter faction, but a kind of a similar faction to the Sith, but in a different way. Much more where they don't abide by the rule of two, and there are actual armies that are like them, and so on and so forth. I think that would be a very interesting development for them, because they could take that, they could take who they are, and they could be they could do a lot with them, because they're not restricted by rules of two. They're not restricted by 1,000 years of the statement that Mace Windu made when he said, we haven't heard, the Sith had been annihilated, and they basically disappeared for a long time. So they don't have to do that with the Nihil. The Nihil could disappear for a short period of time, and they can come back just as easy after they gain strength, and they gain numbers, and they gain recruits. And they're basically just if you will, they're a Star Wars version of a pirate faction, which we've seen a few of those already.
For sure.
And so it would be interesting to see if the Acolyte kind of touches on that, if they actually expand on the Nihil. But then again, in my personal headcanon, what I was talking about earlier, my personal headcanon, or not really my headcanon, but my personal desire is I really, really, really hope that the Acolyte segues into either Plagueis, or Plagueis is a part of the Acolyte show, and we see Palpatine at the end and kind of get an idea of those origins from their perspective. Maybe that'll happen, maybe it won't. It might be too far before Phantom Menace before that happens. But who knows? You know, they could do a season and then decide to do a season 2 where they actually do that, and that would be interesting to see. So I'm excited for the Acolyte. I'm excited to see what happens. And I mean, hot take, spoiler prediction, this is my thing, but if Carrie-Anne Moss is the Jedi and she reunites with a Padawan to investigate, my guess is that by the time Phantom Menace rolls around and they didn't know that the Sith were still around and they were oblivious to that fact, I'm guessing it's not going to end well for them.
Right.
You know, hot take. I'm guessing it's not going to end well for them.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun to see this one. Let's see, what other TV shows do we have? The other TV shows that I have on my list are both animated. We're getting season 3 of Bad Batch, which I think will be good. This is, of course, as far as I know, is going to be the last season of Bad Batch. Another thing that I haven't really seen a whole lot of information about, other than the fact that it is the final season. Again, no release date. Just, announced at Celebration Europe in 2023.
Well, don't forget too, we got the Super Bowl coming up, and usually there's some kind of trailer or announcement for any project. Yeah. There's usually some kind of trailer or announcement for the project during the Super Bowl. So I would imagine we're going to see something.
Maybe they'll do an all-encompassing Star Wars trailer.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be kind of cool. Encompasses all of the TV shows that are and whatnot are coming out. The other animated show that is coming in 2024 is season 2 of Tales of the Jedi. I am looking forward to it. Probably not as much as I am the other TV projects that are coming out.
And I'm looking forward. That's probably I'll be honest with you. If I was to rank the 4 that are coming out, Acolyte's my top. Tales of the Jedi Part 2 is my second. Skeleton Crew third, and then Bad Batch season 3. The Tales of the Jedi, just because I think Ahsoka is an outstanding character. Her development, what she's brought to the fandom, even though we've never seen her in live, or not in live action, but we've never seen her on the big screen. Her impact on the universe, the Star Wars universe, and everything in it. Her impact has been so phenomenal. It's been so great, and she's just such an interesting character. And I'm not gonna lie, I love her double-bladed lightsabers. Those things are great.
Is she the main focus of Tales of the Jedi season 2?
She's one of them. Yeah, they kind of tell her as a baby and how they figure it out. And it's been a little while since I watched it, but they kind of show how they figure out that she's. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know if she is or not. I really haven't seen anything that confirms who they talk about. I've seen rumors and rumors only, but since there's so many rumors out there about what's coming and what isn't, and like we talked about earlier, like, you know, people just spread rumors about everything that's coming out. You know,
Here's what I'm reading about it on Screen Rant. So take that with a grain of salt.
Take that with a very small grain of salt.
Jedi season 2 has completed production. Is expected to focus on 2 Jedi once again, with 3 episodes dedicated to each. So that tells me there's 6 episodes. Release window is 2024. Well, that wasn't helpful. Yeah, that's it. Filming is
I'm just gonna
finished, and we'll follow the same format. Okay, so
I'm just
that was what
I'm just
helped
gonna
it
throw
along.
this I'm just gonna throw this out there. I've never trusted anything Screen Rant says. I
You're
don't.
probably good. It was,
Yeah, most of the time it's all clickbait nonsense, and they'll throw something out there. Not to throw too much shade on them, but they'll throw something out there and hope it sticks, and it doesn't, and then they go, "Oh well, we were wrong. Sorry." So yeah,
yeah. Anyway,
but no, I like the shorts. I like the kind of a background explanation, and one of my favorite prequel characters they brought back into the light, which was Qui-Gon Jinn. You know, some of his early days studying with Count Dooku and things like that. Yeah, there's kind of these little animated short stories that they talk about. They give some background and some information on. I think that's great. I think it adds context. And I'll be honest with you, there's people that didn't like the sequels, but I kind of hope this is something that they do with the sequel trilogy. They need to, after it gets a little time to ferment, a little time to settle in, the dust to clear, which I don't think with the Last Jedi that'll ever happen. But as soon as the dust clears a little bit and the dust settles some, they can come in here and they can do these Clone Wars and these Bad Batch and these Tales of the Jedi style TV shows that'll kind of add a little bit more context to it and give something for people to look at and go, okay, that makes a little, that makes a little bit more sense, or that adds a little bit more context to the story. So yeah.
I mean, not to say that I'm not looking forward to Tales of the Jedi. I'm just not looking as forward to it as I am some of the other projects. But I'm sure it'll be great. It'll be good. Tina says that she wouldn't mind an animated What If for Star Wars. That could be.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Very interesting.
That's almost kind of like what Visions is. Visions to me is kind of like a what if.
Almost,
but
yeah.
it's almost. But I mean, if you look at did you ever watch the Marvel What If?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of
they just put out season 2 as well.
They have a season 2?
Yeah, there's a season 2 that just came out.
Oh, cool. I need to watch that. Because I like that. But then again, that's another one of those kind of, here's the story. It's not necessarily canon, but you get to play in it. Yeah. You get to kind of do your own thing and put your own touch on it, which is kind of neat. And I think they're right. And if you think about it, Tina, Star Wars Lego series is kind of the what if of Star Wars in a way. Because if you watch like their holiday specials and stuff like that, it's kind of like, well, we don't have to be serious about it because it doesn't matter. It's not canon. And it's like, okay, we can play and do whatever we want.
Well, speaking of Star Wars Visions, I finally got around to watching season 2.
Oh.
Which I like the first season better.
Yeah, I did too.
There were a couple of episodes that I'm like, yeah, I like that. I really like that. But generally speaking, I think I like the first season better.
Mm-hmm. I like season 2. I thought it had some really good stuff in it. There's some really great animations, some really great concepts, some really great kind of bringing their culture into Star Wars and things like that, which is kind of what they're doing. Which is how that all works. Yeah, and so it's been really great to see it from their perspective. But I agree. I think season 1 was definitely better.
Have you speaking of TV? Yeah, we're going to get off the rails here a second again. Did you watch the new Echo TV show?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not seen that. Well, I'll be honest with you. At the beginning of the year is when we start our Star Wars marathon.
Oh, that's right. That is right.
And
where when I'm not right now,
we're on Solo now.
Okay.
We're on Solo.
Right?
Yep, we're doing chronological. We go through it. The only thing we don't watch is we don't watch the animated series. We don't watch like Clone Wars or Rebels or any of that stuff, just simply because if we did that, and everybody knows, if you did that, you could literally start on day 1 of the year and get to the end of the year before you would actually finish an entire watch through of everything if you went episode by episode, just because it would take that long. And with the kind of time that I have, obviously, it's not always easy to do. So, but yeah, we're on Solo now. We're actually going to watch that tomorrow night. And then it's on to Obi-Wan, and then yeah. So we'll watch all the Disney Plus series along with it now as well, except for like Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff. So
Very cool.
and my girlfriend does good. Just getting her to watch all the Star Wars all the way from one all the way to the end. If I actually tried to make her watch the animated movies or animated shows, she would probably kill me. So
how
for my own health and safety.
how about you folks in the chat? Have any of you watched Echo yet?
Now I know what it's in reference to because I watched Hawkeye, the Hawkeye series. No, so I know who it's in reference to, and it looked interesting. I haven't got around to watching it yet.
So I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will say it was not what I was expecting. It's not the TV show I expected they were going to be putting out about Echo. And Tina, that's fair. I don't know. I don't think I would necessarily recommend it to anybody. Again, no spoilers, but if I had not watched this show at all, it would not have affected me.
I'm kind of on. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of on board with Tina on this one. Not because I'm trying to be a hater on Marvel or anything like that. It's just that lately,
not at all.
with the stuff that's come out lately, I've been kind of a little let down, and a little disappointed with it. So I'm kind of
necessary.
Yeah. So I've been kind of the point where I'm like, I'm kind of on the same bandwagon as everybody. That's like, it's a little bit of oversaturation. And I'm kind of letting those series ferment a little bit and go and then ask people, was it good? Is it worth watching? Yes or no? And if they say yes, it's actually a great series, then I might try to pick it up. I might try to watch it. But lately, I've been just kind of like, I don't know. Because like I said, I watched.
As far as the movies go, I am actually looking forward to the new Captain America movie.
Yes. Yeah. And I liked Captain America the Soldier. That was good. I like that series. And I'm looking forward to that. I'd like to see what they do with that. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Okay, back to Star Wars content.
Yes.
So this next thing that I'm going to mention is I think I'm going to go ahead and say this is probably the project that I am most looking forward to.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go there. I think I'm okay to go there. And I am
if it is what I think it is, I'm right on board with you.
Well, I am referring to the open world video game Star Wars Outlaws.
Yep.
So it's a game that was put out or is being put out by Ubisoft, which if you know video games at all, they're the folks behind the Assassin's Creed series.
Best video game series ever, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
So it's the game takes place during the period between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. It is a single player game, and it is open world. So I'm super excited about the idea of an open world Star Wars video game.
Mm-hmm. We got a little bit of a taste of it. We got a little bit in Star Wars Survivor. We got a little bit of that open world taste. A little bit. And I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So so you're going to be playing, basically you're playing an outlaw. What is it? I guess the premise is you are going to attempt one of the biggest heists the Outer Rim has ever seen. So you're going to journey across several planets, including familiar ones like Tatooine and Kijimi
Ooh.
and never before seen ones. So
You know which one? You know which one Kajimi is, don't you?
oh yeah, that's from
You got to
Rise of Skywalker.
you got to see that planet. In my opinion, briefly, but that ought to be interesting.
I want to see more of that planet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So
I
yeah,
agree.
it's going to be available. I don't know when. There's no release date. It's going to be available for the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X/S, and Windows. So I don't know. What do you think?
If you know anything about video games, you know there's a chance that could change just because that's kind of the way video games have been lately because they're on a constantly shifting release date platform kind of thing. So, I mean, yes, it's tentatively supposed to be released this year, and I've heard later this year, like third, maybe even fourth quarter this year.
Let's hope we still get it this year.
Let's hope we still get it. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be cool. The only thing that I want to squash now about the game is I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to playing it. The only thing that I've heard negative about the whole thing is that some people are a little upset that you get to play a female outlaw. Okay. Now, the only thing I'll say to that, for those people who are naysayers of the game for simply that purpose, if you played Tomb Raider, you need to shut up. Because Tomb Raider had a female protagonist. So I've heard people actually say online, they're like, oh, I'm not playing it because you got to play a female. If you played Tomb Raider, you got nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
You need to stop talking. Yeah.
Along the same lines of what you're saying there, one thing I think they could have done to maybe improve it a little bit is kind of go the route where you, at the beginning of the game, you get to create your character.
And that seems to be the bigger thing nowadays. Like I'm not gonna lie, I played Hogwarts Legacy. And I played it all the way through. Thoroughly enjoyed the game. I thought it was a great game. It got a little boring at the end because everything seemed a little repetitive. But you get to create the person that you want to be. And I think that in today's how do I want to say this? In today's social climate, I think that is more important than anything. Because then you can create whoever you want, and you're not restricted to whatever they want you to play. They can just say, well, you're an outlaw and you get to pick that outlaw. You get to pick your look, your particular product. You get to pick that. And it's up to you what you want to be. It's up to you who you want to be. And I think that'd be my only thing is that day, in today's social climate, it seems like that would be more of a better thing, just to let everybody pick whatever they want. And just pick your character that reflects you or the person you most feel like you can relate to the best, I guess is how I would put it, for lack of better vernacular, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that would have made it more, I don't want to use the word accessible, more enticing maybe. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I'll play what I'm going to play. I'm going to play the game. I don't,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would have made it maybe a little bit better.
No, I've played all the Assassin's Creed series. There's a few of them I didn't care for, but I think Ubisoft learned their lesson.
One?
Black Flag, 100% Black Flag.
I've never played that one.
Oh my God! Buy a PlayStation 5 and play Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Why a PlayStation?
I don't know. Just because I'm a PlayStation
Is it
person.
not available on game on Xbox?
Yes, you can play it on Xbox. If you have an Xbox, play it on Xbox. It's actually an older game, and it was actually made for the PS4. So you can play it on You can play it on an Xbox or one of the older Xboxes, or if they convert their games up. I have a PlayStation 5 now, and it works on my PlayStation 5, and I actually re-downloaded it, played it through for like the 4th or 5th time. So it's based on the golden age of piracy in the Caribbean, and you play a pirate in the Caribbean with your own ship, but you also follow an Assassin's Creed storyline, and it's completely open seas.
I know the. I know the. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I know the premise of it. I've just never played it.
You have to play it. It is. This is just my personal opinion, but in my personal opinion, it is of all the games up to from when Assassin's Creed originally debuted up till the current date, it is the best Assassin's Creed game that's come out. Some people would disagree with me. Some people would say Brotherhood or Assassin's Creed 2 is the best. Some people really like 3. But I think Black Flag, in my opinion, is the best game. That is the best one they came out with. If you like pirates, if you like piracy, if you like being able to sail on the ocean and being able to attack boats and being able to jump on those boats and fight other pirates, it is a fun game to play, and it has got a great storyline. And I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler. You, without even realizing it, you get to run through and you actually get to fight alongside and do missions with other pirates from history, famous pirates from history. Nice. I'll just say that. Yeah. And if you can think of a famous pirate name, they're probably in it. From the Caribbean, from like the East Coast of America and the Caribbean, I'll give you an example. Blackbeard. Blackbeard is in it. Edward Teach. Yeah. Edward Teach is in it. So you actually get to be a part of his adventures to some extent. So I think it's a great series. Black Flag is my favorite. And I love what Ubisoft has done with Assassin's Creed. They've done a great job. The great open world aspect, the parkour, the fighting, the weapons usage, the controls. It's just been a great series to play. And I'm excited to see what they do with this Outlaws. If they put that touch with the sci-fi aspect, and then they put the open world concept on there as well, where you can go out and you can do your own thing and you can continue your adventures. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be something that people are going to love to play for a long time, and hopefully it has a great. Hopefully they stick with it. Hopefully they continue to expand upon it once it comes out. Once everybody figures out it really will be a good game, and hopefully I'm crossing my fingers. I'm being positive. I think we'll see a lot of good things come out of it. My only disappointment is that, obviously me, I wanted to be a Jedi instead of a gunfighting outlaw, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm completely opposite of you on that one. I would rather be the bounty hunter, outlaw, scoundrel type.
Being a Boba Fett fan, I never would have thought that about you.
No. Tina says, I like her little animal sidekick.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm almost to the end of my list here. The last thing I have on my list is a list of the novels coming out. I will say that for the list that I put together, I did only list the novels themselves. I did not list any young adult novels or any young reader novels or anything like that, because we would be here all night talking about it, because there's a crap ton of stuff coming out.
We can attach that to next week since we're talking about books.
Yeah. So the first one that is on the list is a book that is coming out. See, the release date is April 9th, and it's called The Living Force. And it will focus on Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the 12 members of the Jedi Council.
Ooh, that one sounds good.
And it is set the year before the Phantom Menace.
That one sounds good. I think I might read that one.
That's gonna be pretty interesting. And the author is John Jackson Miller. Not really familiar with that name. But it's interesting because the publisher's summary is referring to a Jedi outpost and warring pirate factions. The pirates unite intent on assassinating the council. So that could be interesting.
It sounds very interesting.
Yeah, so we'll put that one on our radar.
Heck yeah.
The second one that's coming out, again, these are just novels. These are not the young adult or anything like that. Comes out June 11th, and it is the High Republic Temptation of the Force. It's part of the Phase 3 project. It is written by Tessa Grattan. And I see no summary of it. It's High Republic, though, so that should give you kind of an idea.
Ooh, if I get my package this week, I have a package reveal next week, too.
Ooh, nice.
Nice. I ordered a little something.
Cool. So, yeah, so a High Republic book coming out in June. And the last novel that is coming out in 2024 is coming out on August 6th, and it is called The Glass Abyss, written by Stephen Barnes. That's another name I'm not familiar with. But it seems like it appears that it is going to be focused on Mace Windu. And takes place after the Phantom Menace. We know that because it is referring to the recent death of Qui-Gon Jinn.
Oh, I heard about this one.
And yeah, so it looks like it's focusing on Mace Windu. And
if I remember correctly, they said something about it was going to be it was right after the death of Qui-Gon Jinn, and Mace Windu and I think maybe Obi-Wan might have been involved, but they were going to complete a mission that he was supposed to complete and never got done, but it had something to do with him.
Yeah.
So that's the last I heard of it. Yeah.
So the publisher's summary mentions that Mace receives a final message from Qui-Gon to be delivered to Mace on the event of Qui-Gon's death. The message contains a last request, a plea to help the Outer Rim planet of Metagos. Yeah. Could be interesting.
It could be interesting.
So, I mean, aside from those novels, there really is a lot of material coming out in print in 2024. There's a reference book coming out. I am actually excited about this one. It's Star Wars: The Mandalorian Collection, and I'm not sure really what it's all about. It's being put out by Titan Magazines. It's a Star Wars Insider collection book themed around the Mandalorians. So not the Mandalorian singular, the Mandalorians. And that's supposed to come out on February 20th. So that'll be good. There's a crap ton of young adult novels, short story collections. Gosh, I know there's there's another. I thought there was another reference book coming out. What am I missing? Oh, here it is. Yeah, there's a reference book coming out in August called Star Wars: The High Republic: The Lightsaber Collection.
Ooh, that's yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah,
Sign me up.
so it said, the publisher summary says, discover more than 50 lightsabers from the golden age of the Jedi with this essential guide.
Do I detect more lightsabers in my collection coming up?
It's gonna have Vernestra Rose light whip in it.
Oh, nice.
Cool. So yeah, I mean, as far as print, and I'm not even gonna touch the comic books because there are a ton of comic books coming out.
So, in summary, between TV shows, video games, books, young adult novels, and comic books, what you're saying is
what I'm saying is
that the people who say Star Wars is dead are full of crap. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Oh yeah, that's what
I'm hearing. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that's what I want to make sure that I'm hearing and understanding you correctly.
We are getting a lot of Star Wars content in 2024. Yeah. Definitely.
Well, once again, feed me. I'm a big advocate for making sure that the stories and everything make sense and are good. So as long as they continue to do that, and I think we've been done pretty good. There may be a few hiccups along the way, but I think we've done pretty good, in my opinion. So
I agree. So we made it through the episode with slight derailments here and there.
That's just how we do things.
Say that again.
That's just how we do things.
That's just how we roll here.
That's just how we roll.
Is how we roll. So next week, what I have on the schedule,
I'm going to love this episode.
Return of the Jedi from a certain point of view.
Yep.
So that probably means I'm going to need to go back and maybe reread a few of the stories.
I will only say this. Dude, stop putting things in my mouth. If you haven't read the book, if you have not read the book, wait till next week and you will understand that comment.
As well. So here's the interesting thing about next week's episode. So if we're looking at episode numbers, tonight is 152, so next week will be 153. And the show started in November of 2019. And the reason that I'm pointing this out is next week is going to be the first time that our topic is a book discussion. We have never before done a book discussion. Ever.
Which if I keep up with my homework, that'll change because we'll do other ones.
That will, because we need to do Rebel Rising.
Yes, and Catalyst.
And Catalyst. And I might talk about the heroes of Row One.
Oh, surely not. Surely not.
But yeah, so next week, come back and we're going to be talking about the, from a certain point of view, Return of the Jedi. And we'll be right here. Same bat time, same bat channel.
So I was thinking that in my head, but I didn't want to say it.
So all those folks that were in the chat room, thanks for coming out and hanging out with us. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thanks for viewing. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe and all that good stuff. And if you're listening on Apple or any of the audio platforms, please go out there and leave a rating and a review. And get more people to come and enjoy the nonsense that is Rebel Rock Radio. And I think that's it for us. I think we're done. So we'll see you next week.
Have a great evening, everyone.
And may the force be with you.